Hey everybody, Chris with Up North Air Gunner. So today I actually need to set the record straight. In a previous video I made last year when the Texan 257 was first announced, so at that same time I was actually putting together my Talon Door 257 modded Airforce platform. So when I put together that the Alamo project, it was hitting low to mid 900s with a stock valve with a 34-inch custom barrel with these 85 grain Spitzer slugs that I cast myself. So when they first released the Texan around that same time, I hadn't gotten one yet. I actually hadn't seen any kind of reviews on one, so I was just going off what the stated specs were on their website. And I was, thinking, oh, wow, okay, this is great. This is actually on par with the AirForce Texan 257. Come to find out that that is not the case. So I'll tell you what, now that I've got my hands on a real Texan 257, I've been testing it, I absolutely love this gun. This is the gun that I have been waiting for now ever since I've started my long-range shooting attempts with big bore air rifles. So I would probably say comparatively it is also probably the most accurate or one of the most accurate calibers available in the AirForce Texan lineup. You've seen all of my crazy shots with the 357 Texan. I was shooting it super far. Basically I was reaching the maximum range that I was able to shoot with that gun. I was shooting slugs that had like a ballistic coefficient of like maybe 0.15 to maybe 0.18. You know what? The 357 is great for medium to large game animals. Really isn't the right platform for doing all the long range shooting attempts that I've been doing up to this point, but I had so much fun doing it. It's pretty awesome. I love that thing. So shooting something like this with a higher sectional density, higher ballistic coefficient with these or maybe up to like a 90 grain. I've seen some decent results from some shooters with the 100 grain range slugs. This caliber of Texan is just going to allow me to shoot so much further. Anyway, so this is just my initial testing. I came out, I did some velocity testings, and I'm getting this to go over 1,000 feet per second. With a lot of pellets, you really want to stay below that. You're seeing with pellet-based projectiles, they really like that high 800s, low to mid 900 range, to keep those shot groups tight. But being spin stabilized like these slugs are, they like to be kind of pushed a bit faster. You definitely want to stay below the speed of sound with these, where you're getting that transonic issues of stability. But keeping these below the speed of sound in the 1,000 feet per second range, I am getting awesome groups, really awesome groups. So anyway, I wanted to do this on camera to kind of set the record straight. I was wrong when I did the Alamo project saying that my modded Talon Door was going to be as powerful as the Texan. Not the case, but now that I've got a real Texan 257, man, this thing is a beast. I am shooting the AirForce Texan, and as you've seen with all my other shooting, Hawk scopes, I absolutely love them. This is the Hawk Frontier with the TMX reticle. Absolutely love that scope. They've come out with some first focal plane scopes that I'm going to be trying here pretty soon, but if you are looking for an awesome scope with an awesome reticle for air gunning, the TMX reticle is definitely a way to go. And of course, as always, the Down EFL Ronin. So yeah, if you choose to, you can actually put an Emperor on here as well. So yeah, just to kind of shorten it up a little bit with the Ronin, I'm finding that suppresses it a ton and gives it a little bit of a shorter platform versus the longer Emperor. But they do absolutely amazing. If you are getting a Down EFL though for a 257, do not get a 25. Make sure you're getting the 30 cal. Option just to give you a little bit more breathing room so you're not clipping your slugs as they come out. So absolutely, if you have an AirForce Texan Down EFL suppressor, it is a must-have. You definitely need to get one of these, both to protect your hearing and it just really lowers the decibel levels significantly. Okay, and another thing real quick, this right here is my new favorite bipod. So this is the Atlas Bipods Cal Gen 2. And how this is a little bit different than like the V8 Atlas bipod you see a lot of shooters shooting with, or the 5H, the really big beefy 5H that I have on my other Texans. So what's really great about this bipod is you've got this locking mechanism here in the back. And so when you unlock it, you can adjust your cant, get your bubble level on your scope locked in and nice and level. You lock that back in place, and that is rock solid. That's not going anywhere. So what's different about this one as compared to the other Atlas bipods you've seen me use in the past is it does not pan. So no left to right movement on this. And so what I really like about this is you get it locked into place and you basically have a rock solid shooting platform to shoot from. For me personally, I have found the AirForce Texans to be a bit hold sensitive, and you know, typical long range shooting or firearm shooting, you know, typically you're preloading the bipod. You're kind of, you know, digging it in, pushing forward, and the recoil is pushing it back, and you're moving back and forth. So yeah, with the Texans, I have found that you really don't want to preload the bipod like that. You know, that's my own personal preference. So I really let the rifle do what it's going to do. So even so much so on my 5H bipod, I actually have ski feet, so it actually will slide back and forth on a surface while I'm shooting. But I have found that just, you know, don't bear hug the rifle. Let the bipod do what it's going to do. Don't dig it in and preload it like you would a regular powder burner. But so yeah, if you've got a high-end air gun, you really want to get the best bipod you can for your platform. Definitely the Atlas Cal Gen 2 is definitely the way to go. Again, my new personal favorite. All right, so here we go. Here we go. The AirForce Texan. We are at right at 3,000 psi. All right, here we go. AirForce Texan, 3,000 psi, 85 grain Spitzer. Shot number 1. 1,022 feet per second. Shot number 2. That's wicked. Shot number 3. Shot number 4. And shot number 5. Okay, so that is absolutely massive. And I'll tell you what, look at these groups. 100 yards. This thing is a tack driver. I absolutely love this rifle. I wanted to do some initial testing, kind of verify some of the numbers that I've been seeing out there, you know, from Rick Ream and some others. But I'll tell you what, that Texan valve is amazing. That is a hard hitter. So real quick, I get this question a lot. A lot of people see me on my YouTube channel. I'm tethered a lot of times with the big bore air guns. I'm tethered with the Huma external regulator. If you're getting into big bores, I highly, highly recommend getting one of these. There's this version. There's also another version where you can adjust the pressure externally. But yeah, definitely, this is a must-have for tethered shooting for big bore air gunners. Definitely check out Huma Air. Those guys are great, make great products, and yeah, so I guess a lot of people ask me about that, and so there it is. Here we go, 150 yards, AirForce Texan, 257, unedited. Here we go. Oh, nice. Just missed it. Oh. Come on, baby. Oh, come on. This thing is by far the most accurate Texan I have ever shot. This is nuts. Yeah! Woo! That's what I'm talking about, baby! Airgun Depot, AirForce Texan 257, 150 yards. Yeah! Woo! You gotta be kidding me. Ah! Oh God, my freaking storage is full. All right, everybody, so there it is, the AirForce Texan 257, over 1,000 feet per second, shooting an 85 grain cast projectile. That is almost 200 foot-pounds of energy in a 257. Definitely a long-range coyote gun, medium-sized game. Definitely it's going to be my long-range shooting platform. And I'll tell you what, I absolutely love this thing. The accuracy is amazing. Go to airgundepot.com, get yours today. Again, this is Chris with Up North Air Gunner. Thanks for joining me. You know, I do want to take this minute to do a little bit of a public service announcement. You know, yes, we're doing a lot of long-range shooting with these things, hundreds and hundreds of yards. And, you know, I'm a firm supporter at the 100-yard and in rule, especially for deer. So, you know, the Airgun Sporting Association is doing a lot of work in the industry right now to work with wildlife agencies across the country to get big bore air gunning legalized for hunting. And you know what? We really just need to make sure we're taking ethical shots. In my opinion, 100 yards and further, you've got the foot-pounds of energy to do it with these projectiles. My issue is the trajectory that these are flying at. You know, your bullet is dropping, you know, feet in yards. And so it's more about being able to accurately range to a deer. You know, if I've got a deer standing in the middle of the woods, 150 and 200 yards away, a lot of the woods that I hunt in, I can't see a deer 100 plus yards out just because it's so thick. But, you know, you've got to be absolutely precise about what the range is to that deer. So it's not the foot-pounds of energy. That's not the conversation that we should be having. It's that flight trajectory to the deer. You know, if you are like a couple yards off, maybe 5-10 yards off of your calculations, you've missed the vital zone completely because the way the trajectory of the bullet is falling out of the sky at that point. So, you know, when you're getting into big bore air gun hunting for deer and larger game animals, you know what, I really firmly stand by the 100 yards and in. Yes, there's hunters out there that have done longer shots. They're amazing marksmen. You know what, that's awesome, kudos. But, you know, it's these DNR officials are watching this and saying, you know what, if you're setting an expectation of like that is what can or should be done with a big bore air gun, I personally think we're setting the wrong example. I guarantee you there's a lot of guys out there that consider themselves excellent marksmen, as I do myself. But I'm going to tell you right now, I would not take that shot. So, you know what? Can it be done? Yes. Should it be done? In my opinion, no. So you've seen the prove me wrong videos. The guy sitting on a street corner saying, hey, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong on this. Again, this is Chris with Up North Air Gunner. Thanks for joining me.